sbr.gov/inflation-reduction-act. And you see that on your screen. Thank you for taking the appropriate action if you do not want to be included in this recorded information session. All remarks are on the record and for attribution. The Inflation Reduction Act was signed into law by President Biden on August 16, 2022. Combined with the Bipartisan Infrastructure Law, these two initiatives represent the largest investments in climate resilience in our nation's history. The Inflation Reduction Act will invest in our infrastructure and benefit the American public for the next generation. Since the act was signed in August, we are in the development stages, and our purpose today is to listen to you so that we can work in a collaborative manner and make informed decisions going forward. Our agenda today will include brief remarks from our senior leaders, a hydrology update, and an overview of the act. And then we're looking forward to hearing from you. We respectfully ask that you limit your comments to 2 minutes so that we can hear from as many as possible today. And again, our purpose here today is to listen to you. At this time, I am honored to introduce the Department of the Interior's Assistant Secretary for Water and Science, Ms. Tanya Trujillo.
Hello, everyone. Good morning. This is Tanya Trujillo. I am the Assistant Secretary for Water and Science. I am very pleased to be here with you this morning. I am happy to be able to present some of the opening remarks on behalf of the department for this listening session today. I'm pleased to be here with Commissioner Tootin, who has been a great leader from the Bureau of Reclamation as we have worked through these challenging hydrologic times we have seen over the past few years. She and I are both recovering from illness, and we appreciate the support and preparation from the excellent team at Reclamation who put together the information we are presenting today. As Mr. Manning pointed out, this is a listening session. We are interested in hearing your views on how the Inflation Reduction Act can best address the drought conditions that we are facing around the West. And we have a particular focus on the Colorado River Basin, as was stated in the statute that appropriated the funding to us. Since we issued the 24-month study in August, and we identified additional administrative actions we will be taking, we have continued to work on a variety of efforts in the Colorado River Basin to encourage conservation and protect the system. And last week, we were joined by Secretary Holland and Deputy Secretary Boudreaux in Santa Fe, New Mexico, where we were able to confirm our department's emphasis on the efforts that we have underway in the basin. We look forward to hearing from you on these efforts and working with you as we go forward. The Inflation Reduction Act is a historic appropriation and an investment towards achieving President Biden's ambitious goals of tackling the climate crisis, while we are lowering the costs for families across the nation. Combined with the Bipartisan Infrastructure Law, these appropriation packages represent the largest investments in climate resilience in our nation's history, and they provide a once-in-a-generation opportunity for us to work with many of you on these challenges. There are many provisions in the laws that are specific to our tribal nations, and we look forward to working with you on the efforts to implement these provisions. Our goal is to have the funding available and to get it to where it's needed most as quickly as possible. The laws underscore our Biden-Harris administration's efforts to provide an all-of-government approach to helping to address the climate challenges that we see. As demonstrated in the listening sessions today, Reclamation's teams and efforts align with our department's priorities, and they prioritize the need to coordinate with the tribes and the stakeholders as we move forward with these efforts. The key provisions of the laws will be outlined in our presentations. The funding provides an incredible opportunity for us to be able to address the challenges and the urgent conditions that we see today. We have a shared responsibility to be addressing these challenges. We appreciate your support and participation. Thank you very much. I'll turn the program over back to you, Rob.
Thank you so much, Assistant Secretary Trujillo. At this time, I am pleased to welcome the 24th Commissioner for the Bureau of Reclamation, Commissioner Camille Kalimlim-Tootin.
Good morning, and thank you, Rob. I'm grateful for the opportunity to be here with you today, and we look forward to hearing your ideas on how to best implement the Inflation Reduction Act. Last November, when the Bipartisan Infrastructure Law was signed by President Biden, we committed to a transparent, equitable, and timely implementation of the law. In fulfilling that pledge, we have proactively engaged with you and our stakeholders to share information regarding those implementation. As of September 15th, Reclamation has announced and allocated $1.04 billion for 114 projects since the Bipartisan Infrastructure Law was enacted. So today, we are making the same commitment to you for implementation of the Inflation Reduction Act. I want to give you some granularity of what we're looking at as a framework that we're considering, at least as it relates to the Colorado River Basin. The funding will be done through establishing, among other funding mechanisms, a two-step process. Step 1 would include issuing a firm fixed price notification of funding, as well as a request for proposal to solicit short-term bridging system conservation opportunities. Step 2 would include issuing a request for proposal to solicit longer-term durable system efficiency projects with a priority for those type of projects. The longer-term projects could include initiatives such as canal lining, re-regulating basins, ornamental and non-functional turf removal, salinity projects, and other infrastructure or on-the-ground activities. Projects could also be related to aquatic ecosystem restoration and impacts mitigation, crop water efficiency, rotational fallowing, and marginal land idling. And through these programs, we are looking to accrue new wet water for the benefit of the system. That is, water that stays in the system and is not diverted for consumptive use in the near future. We must use this funding smartly to prepare for the hydrologic reality of the drought conditions in the Colorado River Basin and across the West to help sustain the system. The challenges we face require us to work together to develop creative and practical solutions, and these listening sessions are just one aspect of how we can work together. Again, thank you for your time and the trust that you've shown and the partnership that you've shown with the Bureau of Reclamation. And with that, I'll hand it back to Rob. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Tootin. We will now present a brief hydrology overview of the 17 Western states. And I am privileged to introduce Reclamation's Chief Engineer, Dr. David Raff.
Thank you, Rob. Wanted to provide just a little bit of the backdrop from a hydrologic perspective for how the Inflation Reduction Act will hopefully be supporting our activities. Next slide. This is the current conditions of drought produced by the U.S. Drought Monitor weekly. As you can see, is that almost the entire Western United States is in an abnormally dry through an exceptional drought currently. These conditions are actually a little bit better than they were even just a couple of months ago, but there remain significant portions and entire states that are in severe to exceptional drought in their entirety. And this is the backdrop of drought in which our water resources operate. Next slide. As I mentioned, things have improved a little bit in terms of drought conditions due to what was a fantastic in terms of precipitation monsoon season in the Southwest. On the left is the show of precipitation over the past 60 days, and those nice purple colors and blue colors in the far Southwest are a high amount of rainfall, including greens through Arizona, New Mexico, etc. That is the monsoon that produced a lot of rain, which has been fantastic. That is within the backdrop of temperature, which is on the right side, and temperature continues to be largely warmer than on average throughout the Western United States. So that season ends with the end of September, but certainly we hope that we see some continued benefit from the monsoons moving forward. Next slide. The water supply forecasts from the start of this irrigation season are in May of 2022. The drought was terrible at the time, as it is now, and it is reflected in terms of what we expected the water supply to be like over the summer. Things did materialize largely in this manner, where you see these red dots throughout most of the southern western United States. That is a percent of normal of water supply, and those are things like 20 to 50% or even below 25% normal in terms of water supply. That is what materialized. And the bright spot is, of course, in the Pacific Northwest, where we did anticipate and did have a decent water supply this year. And what did this mean for our water supply systems? Next slide. Is that this is a teacup diagram of a number of major reservoirs for reclamation throughout the Western United States. The blue is the amount of water that is in those reservoirs as of September 25th. The red line in each is the average storage on this date over the last 30 years. And this is just meant to be a reflection of where we're at relative to historics. And as you can see, for most of our reservoirs, the amount of water is well below the average on this date, dramatically so, with a couple of areas, again, in the Pacific Northwest or the upper Midwest, where things are a little bit better. But overall, this continued drought, these continued reduced water supplies are really stressing these water supply systems. Next slide. Looking to the future, we would love if Mother Nature let us off the hook here. We do not expect that. These are La Nina conditions. This is what is being referred to as a very rare triple dip in terms of we're looking at moving into a third year of continued La Nina conditions. And what does that mean? If you move to the next slide. If we look to the next few months, this is information produced by federal colleagues at NOAA Climate Prediction Center. On the left, if we look to a seasonal outlook for precipitation, we expect there to be below average precipitation for much of the Southwest United States, with I'm sorry, that's on the right side. On the left side, sorry. On the left side is October, November, December, where we see below average precipitation outlook for much of the Western United States, lower. And that continues through the beginning, January, February, March of 2023, where we continue to see a below average precipitation. So that is the backdrop in which we will be beginning to implement the Inflation Reduction Act and hopefully addressing these continued challenges. Thank you, and I believe back to you, Rob.
Thank you, Dr. Rath. Thank you for that presentation. We will now receive an overview of the Inflation Reduction Act from our Director of Program and Budget, Mr. Bob Wolf. Please stand by.
Sorry, I was on mute. Thank you, Rob, and for the opportunity to provide an overview of reclamation provisions in the Inflation Reduction Act. The act includes $6.6 billion in funding for the Department of the Interior, of which just under $4.6 billion is for 4 provisions specific to reclamation. They are $550 million for domestic water supply projects, $25 million for canal improvement projects, $4 billion for drought mitigation in reclamation states, and $12.5 million for emergency drought relief for tribes. I would also note that one of the department programs, environmental reviews and determinations, is funded at $150 million. Reclamation is one of 6 bureaus named in the Inflation Reduction Act that would be eligible to receive funding. That program will be implemented by the Department of the Interior, but Reclamation plans to be an active participant. Similar to the bipartisan infrastructure law, the department will execute these investments adhering to the administration's implementation priorities. On to the provisions. Congress provided the funds in lump sums for each category. As has been stated, we are here today seeking your input and thoughts. We are early in the process and here today to listen. We understand that putting funding to work is critical. Your input today is an important next step in the process. I would like to briefly describe the 4 provisions in the Inflation Reduction Act specific to reclamation. First, the domestic water supply projects is a new program with funding available through fiscal year 2031. The program is to serve disadvantaged communities or households that do not have reliable access to domestic water supply in a reclamation state or territory. Reclamation can provide up to 100% of the cost of planning, design, and construction. So I would just emphasize the fact that planning and design are also eligible for funding consideration under the program. The second program is canal improvement projects. This is a new program which provides $25 million through fiscal year 2031. And the program is to cover water conveyance facilities with solar panels to generate renewable energy that increases water efficiency. I would also note that the Act allows for pilot projects. The third category is the $4 billion for drought mitigation and reclamation states with funds available through fiscal year 2026. The commissioner has done an excellent job of describing some of the initial thinking with regard to that $4 billion. So I will not try to explain that any further other than to say, in addition to the Colorado River, which is named in the Act as an area of priority, other basins with comparable levels of drought longer term would be eligible for consideration and definitely will be considered as we go through the process. The final category is emergency drought relief for tribes, for which $12.5 million is available through fiscal year 2026. The funding is for near-term drought actions to mitigate drought impacts for tribes impacted by the operation of a reclamation project. So again, I would like to emphasize the words in the Act itself, impacted by a reclamation water project. So that will be will be a key factor in determining allocation of funding for that program. And thanks very much for the opportunity, and back to you, Rod.
Thank you, Mr. Wolf, for an excellent overview of the Act. Really appreciate that. And thanks to all of our leaders. At this time, we will move into the listening portion of this session, and we look forward to hearing from you. To provide a comment, please raise your hand using the hand icon at the top of the screen, or submit your comments by sending an email to usbr.ir.act@usbr.gov. And when called upon, please state your name and affiliation. We respectfully ask that you limit your comments to 2 minutes so that we can hear from as many as possible today. And please feel free to submit your comments anytime to us during or after this session by sending an email to usbr.ir.act@usbr.gov. Thank you so much for your patience as we maximize the limited time that we have today. Okay, All right, Chelsea, our first comments. Our
Rob,
first
looks like we have Chairwoman Flores. Your mic is
Fantastic.
open.
Fantastic. Welcome, Chairwoman Flores.
You can unmute your mic, Chairwoman Flores.
Hello?
Yes,
We can
ma'am,
hear
we
you.
hear you loud and clear. Thank you so much,
Okay.
Chairwoman Flores.
Okay, I'll start over again. Kamadhu. Greetings to everyone, and trusting you are all having a great day. I'm Amelia Flores, Chairwoman of the Colorado River Indian Tribes, and today I'm here not as a lawyer, not as a lobbyist, nor an engineer. I'm here as a tribal leader, and I'm here because our people care about the river, our namesake. And we rely on this, on its water for life. Our culture, our practices, our ceremonies are tied to the river, and the river is our livelihood. So we want you to take actions to save our river. And before I talk about the Inflation Reduction Act, I want everyone to understand what happened with the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act, the IIJA. And Congress spent trillions to upgrade water infrastructure in that bill, but for tribes like us that rely on BIA water infrastructure, we got next to nothing. CRIT will not see a penny of the money for tribal water settlements. And we will not see any of the money Congress allocated for extraordinary circumstances or maintenances on reclamation projects. I am told this because the BIA operates our system, not reclamation. And our river, this river, does not know the difference. It has a life of its own. We can save between 100,000 and 150,000 acre feet of water with projects we have identified. But we need the funds to do it. In this new bill, the IRA BOR can use money more flexible. BIA operates 17 irrigation systems across the country that serves many tribes. Many are in the Colorado River Basin. So today I'm just asking to be allowed to compete for IRA funds. If we are eligible, I know our projects will do quite well. They are cost effective and save a lot of water. We need this money not only to save the river, but for our survival. Our tribal government depends on farming. We are farmers on the Colorado River Indian Reservation. And what is the Colorado River Indian Tribes? If there's no Colorado.
Chairwoman Flores, can you hear us? You dropped off. Do we still have Chairwoman Flores, Chelsea?
It appears that she's dropped off. We can come
Okay.
back to her.
Okay. Well, Chairwoman Flores, not sure if you can hear, but thank you so much for your comments. We appreciate your concerns, and we'll try and circle back to you so you can finish your remarks, sir. Okay. Chelsea, who else are we?
It looks like
Let's
our
see.
next speaker is Governor Lewis.
Oh, fantastic. Governor Lewis, welcome. Please your mic is now turned on.
Hello, good morning, everyone. This is Governor Lewis. Can you hear me?
Absolutely, Governor Lewis. Good morning to you. We hear you loud and clear. Thank you so much.
Great. Thank you. Skook Sialik. Good morning, everyone, and thank you for hosting this important listening session regarding the funding made available under the Inflation Reduction Act. As we all know, this funding will be critical in helping address drought in our region. And first, let me say the community, the Gila River Indian community that I'm the governor of, proudly agrees with many in the basin that most of the IRA funding should be used for infrastructure projects that will permanently conserve Colorado River water, reduce long-term demand, or that it will help augment water supplies in our region. Now, the community also believes special consideration should be made for tribes. By that, I don't mean a mere set aside for tribes, but some tribes, like the community, will likely have their water rights negatively impacted by actions taken to stabilize the system. Our water rights are federal trust resources, and the United States, as our trustee, should ensure, by all means possible, that projects that help mitigate the impacts of future cuts to tribal supplies or that help create replacement supplies for impacted tribes, in short, that they are given priority in this process. Now, the community recognizes that immediate action to help stabilize the system is needed. And the only way to do this is through reducing use. Paid system conservation is the only realistic way to achieve these reductions, and some of the IRA funding should be used for this purpose. However, the community strongly believes that the conservation payments should be reasonable and pricing should be fixed to ensure that funding remains for infrastructure that can produce long-term conservation or water augmentation. Long-term solutions should be the priority, not short-term profit. That said, the community believes that reclamation should consider a tiered pricing structure that pays a premium to water users that commit to multi-year system conservation. Finally, I wanted to let Reclamation know that the community is reassessing its position regarding pulling back our CAP water for conservation in 2023. Recent statements made by the United States to take concrete steps to have the tools in place to take actions in 2023, if necessary, to protect the system, are very encouraging to the Gila River Indian community. And we are very eager to see more details, but we believe it's time to reconsider our current position, provided we see continued process by the United States to take steps to ensure that it has the tools in place to protect the system-wide, and to take action in 2023 if need be. Thank you very much for allowing me the opportunity to bring comments to the table on behalf of the Gila River Indian community.
Thank you, Governor Lewis. We appreciate your time and interest. We were able to get Chairwoman Flores back on. Chairwoman Flores, can you hear? Can you hear us? Let's go make sure she's unmuted.
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
Absolutely, Chairwoman Flores. Sorry you got cut off there. Please proceed.
Okay. So to my friends at Reclamation, you are in charge of the Colorado River. You are the water master, and you are our trustee. Now is the time for you to act on our behalf. Not tomorrow, not next month, but now. So it's not a secret that we have water. And so your decisions will determine if we can make it available. Yamam Edka, Koranyam, thank you. Thank you for this time allowed for Colorado Indian tribes to make these few comments. Ohatka.
Thank you, Chairwoman Flores. Thank you so much. And just as a reminder, to provide a comment, please raise your hand using the hand icon at the top of the screen, or you can submit comments by sending an email to usbr.ir.act@usbr.gov, and that's on the screen there. Please state your name and affiliation when called upon, and we do respectfully ask, since we have such a limited time today, we're going to try and get to as many folks as possible. So 2 minutes is requested. So thank you very much. Chelsea, how are we looking on? Do we have any more hands raised?
It looks like we have Jenny Dumas. Your mic is open if you would like to speak.
Good morning, everyone. I represent the Hickory Apache Nation, and I'm providing comments on behalf of the nation during this session. And I just want to start with the nation is happy to see the concentration on the Colorado River and some real attention focused on the issues that we're facing in this basin. Also wanted to express that it's important to keep in mind that the effects of drought and the needs of the river are throughout the basin. And I want to make sure that the resources that are available under this legislation are not concentrated wholly or to an abnormal extent on the lower basin. The upper basin has also been feeling the effects of drought, and there's a lot of projects that can contribute to these solutions in the upper basin. And then just to echo, the nation has a lot of the same concerns that I heard from Governor Lewis and Chairman Flores. This is a huge opportunity to do something to impact the health of the river, and we need to really concentrate on projects with long-term impacts. We need to avoid drought profiteering by very carefully controlling the costs of the short-term reductions in use. It sounds like a lot of money, but a few years of paying folks to not use water could easily squander this entire chunk of money. And it's really important that we take this opportunity to do something that has a lasting effect on the health of the river. It's a big opportunity, and it needs to not be squandered. And lastly, just wanted to note that to the extent money is made available to tribes, tribal projects should definitely be prioritized, echoing what Governor Lewis said. And the accessing of funds needs to be made, the process needs to be simple. And with simple application standards and low to no cost sharing requirements. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We appreciate your insight and support. Thank you. Chelsea, do we have any other hands raised?
It looks like our next comment is from Crystal Tully Cordova.
Welcome, ma'am. Your mic is now turned on. Good morning to you. Can you hear us, ma'am? Okay. Maybe we can circle back to her. Are there any other hands raised?
I don't see any other hands
Mhm.
raised.
Okay.
For those on the phone, if you would like to raise your hand, use *5 or use the raise hand icon at the top of your screen.
Okay. All right. Well, oh, we've got a hand raised there.
Oh.
Okay.
Crystal, you can unmute yourself.
Good morning, ma'am. Can you hear us? I think she's having some issues coming off mute there. Is that Miss Tully Cordova trying to come off mute there, Crystal or Chelsea?
Her mic is allowed.
Okay.
Let me try pulling her up to.
Okay.
Try unmuting yourself now, Crystal.
And thanks to everyone on the line for your patience as we try to make sure we hear as many folks as possible. We hear from you. Okay. Maybe we can circle back to her. It looks like we have Joseph Price from the Cherokee Nation.
Joseph, your mic is enabled.
Can you hear us, sir? Okay.
It looks like he dropped as well.
Yeah. Well, thanks to everybody for your support here. We're going to continue to try and pull you in. We definitely want to hear from you. We're committed to leveraging the best available science and remaining transparent throughout this process and hearing from you.
Can you hear me now?
We can. Is this Mr. Price?
This is Mr. Price. How are you folks?
Fantastic. Good morning, sir. Fantastic to hear from you. Please proceed.
Well, a big CO from the Cherokee Nation Reservation. My name is Joseph Price. I work for the Cherokee Nation in the Natural Resources Department, and I've been listening on this listening session. I'd like to make some comments. So we have put together a relief for ranchers to kind of help our tribal citizens in our reservation to try to deal with the drought relief here. And I've talked to a number of different citizens that have been impacted directly by this drought, and several of these people have had to sell a lot of their livestock, and we're talking 100 head at a time. They just can't afford to feed them. If we don't have any water, we can't afford to feed these cattle, so they have no choice but to sell them. I've been looking at a bunch of different kind of opportunities and stuff that we can introduce into some of our fields and stuff, like irrigation and such. I think that may be a good long-term sustainability project in regards to our drought, because you can see the weather patterns happening year after year after year, and it just continues to get worse and worse and worse. And I think a big impact of that is global warming. So in order to conquer this feat that we have before us, we have to adapt. And the way we've been kind of looking at that is maybe introducing some more irrigation equipment onto our fields. The problem that we have with that is we have had a massive influx of poultry houses into our area. If we start introducing a lot of irrigation systems inside of these fields, and it starts to run off in these fields from where the farmers and stuff, they end up putting their fertilizer to get the fields ready to grow some hay. It runs off into our rivers. Next thing you know, we've got a blue-green algae bloom in our area lakes. That is something to be aware of and to plan for. And that was one thing that I just kind of wanted to mention. Another thing that I really like in this is the introduction, well, not really introduction, but the inclusion of the solar power projects. That is something that our tribe has also really kind of engaged in. Some additional grant funding dollars would really help on that front, if at all possible. I wish to thank you for your time putting this meeting together, and that's pretty much all I have to say.
Sir, thank you so much. We appreciate your insight and support. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much for sharing. Yes, sir. Okay. Oh, okay. I see some more hands raising there.
Rob, it looks like Crystal has rejoined us.
Oh, fantastic.
Crystal,
Ma'am,
please unmute
Yeah.
yourself.
Can you hear us, ma'am? No, we're still having some problems. Okay. Well, we're committed to coming back to you as soon as we can sort out this volume issue. Okay. Do we have any other hands raised, Chelsea?
Not at this time.
No? Okay. Well, we've got time left, and we are committed to hearing from you. I see Rachel has her hand raised. Okay.
Rachel, please unmute yourself.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Loud and clear. Thank you so much for joining us, ma'am. Please proceed.
Thank you. My name is Rachel Simons. I'm an attorney making these comments today on behalf of the Navajo agricultural products industry, or NAPI. I wanted to first say that we support the comments that were made earlier, especially by Chairwoman Flores on behalf of the Colorado River Indian tribes. And we urge the Bureau to ensure that Indian irrigation projects are eligible for the $4 billion in drought mitigation funding. NAPI's identified multiple projects that would conserve water and improve efficiencies, but it lacks the funding to move forward on these projects. And these are projects that meet the drought mitigation requirements of the Inflation Reduction Act as it's written. And those are the comments that we wish to make today, really just urging to make Indian irrigation projects eligible.
Thank you so much. We appreciate your support and insight. Thank you. Thank you. All right, Chelsea, are we able to go back to Crystal?
I don't see her on now.
Okay.
I think she's dropped.
Okay, do we have any other hands raised? We've got a few minutes left here. We'd love to hear from you. And again, the website is on the screen as well as the email address. That website will house all updated information. So it's a place for you to go and receive the latest updates on our planning here. Okay, I'm watching the screen here as well. So we're doing this in real time. Thank you so much for your patience. Okay, are there any other hands raised, Chelsea?
I don't see any hands raised.
No hands raised? Okay.
Oh, we've
Okay.
got another one.
Yes. Chairwoman Flores. Is that Chairwoman Flores?
Yes, it is Chairwoman Flores.
Okay. Chairwoman Flores, do you have any additional comments to make?
Not additional can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. We hear you loud and clear. Thank you so much.
Okay. Not additional comments, but just adding on to my statement. And thank you again for allowing me. But that just wanted to say that BOR should not discriminate against investments in BIA systems. And again, the river, all because the river doesn't see the difference, and neither should BOR. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairwoman Flores. Thank you so much. Okay, we've got a couple other hands raised here.
Joseph
Okay.
Price, did you have further comments? Your hand is still raised.
Okay.
Nope.
And again, please feel free to submit your questions at any time to our email address there on the screen as well. Your comments and your insight is very important to us. Okay. Well, we'll give it a few more seconds here, see if we have any other hands raised, and then we'll conclude. Okay. No other new hands, Chelsea? Any other?
No,
No, I don't see
no
any.
more
Okay.
comments.
Okay, well, thank you very much. And thank you for your participation today. And thank you for your support. We're committed to leveraging the best available science and remaining transparent throughout this process. And our purpose today, as you heard, was to listen to you so that we can work in a collaborative manner and make informed decisions going forward. Please note that our website and email are on the screen. A recording of this presentation and the slides will be available on our website. And updated information will always be available on our website throughout this process. Our contact information is in the chat and on the screen, and we welcome your comments at any time. Again, on behalf of the Bureau of Reclamation, thank you. Thank you for attending today's listening session. Please take care.